Hi sewing friends, welcome to day 18 of our Vlogmas sewing challenge and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm super excited to show you how to make something so cute, so functional and so beginner friendly, the SnapSlip Wallet. This wallet is the perfect project for a quick sew and it's packed with personality. Plus, it's a great way to store your cards, tiny essentials, receipts and even some cheeky notes. Now let's get into it. Okay, first things first, supplies. We want to make sure we have everything before diving in. We need our main body fabric. You cut one piece for the exterior and one for the lining, each measuring 5.5 inches by 8.5 inches high. We need our slip pocket fabric, one exterior piece and one lining piece, both measuring 5.5 inches wide by 4 inches high. Our ring connector just need one exterior piece measuring 1 inch wide by 2 inches high. Next, we need our clips. Next, we need our scissors, our fabric marker, we need our ruler or measuring tape, thread cutter, this is optional, matching thread, and of course, our sewing machine. Now let's get sewing. Like I said earlier, you need our slip pockets piece, which we are cutting one exterior and one fabric off. Take both slip pocket pieces, place them right sides together. Then you're going to be clipping only the long edges. We're clipping the long edges because we're only sewing along these long edges. So after clipping, we're going to be sewing along these long edges using a 3/8 of an inch sewing allowance. Now we're going to be turning this right side out. But before then, we're going to be trimming our seam allowance to about 1/4 of an inch. Then we're going to be turning this piece right side out. When you're done turning this piece out, you're going to press it either with your finger if you're using vinyl cork or leather, or with a pressing iron if you're using fabric. Moving on to the main body pieces. You'll be grabbing both pieces and you'll be marking 1.5 inches down from the top on both sides of the short edge. Basically, you're just marking 1 inch down and 1.5 inches down and 1.5 inches in on both sides, and then you're going to connect the marks to form a diagonal taper. As soon as this is done, you're going to cut along those lines for that nice and sleek shape. Now it's time to attach the slip pockets. You're going to take the exterior main body piece and you will be measuring 1 inch from the bottom edge. So now the bottom edge is the edge that has not been tapered or was not tapered. So you would measure 1 inch up from the bottom and you're going to place the slip pockets on it. Then you're going to clip both sides of the slip pockets in place. You will notice that the slip pocket sides are raw edges. Then you're going to sew around the three sides of the pocket, both sides and the top. You're not sewing the bottom. If you sew up the bottom, then this your fabric or your slip pocket will just be a decorative feature and it would no longer be a slip pocket anyways. So you're sewing the sides and the top. Bottom will be open, and with that our slip pocket is secured. Next, we're going to be prepping the ring connector. You are going to draw a line in the center of this ring connector along the length. Once this is done, we're going to be folding this fabric in half along the same length, and depending on the kind of fabric you're using, if you're using leather, vinyl or cork like I'm using right now, you're going to definitely need a double-sided tape for this folding. If you're using fabric, simply use a pressing iron to do this. So you're going to be folding both raw edges, long raw edges, towards the line that we just drew in the center. As you can see, I've applied double-sided tape on both sides of the line that I drew, and I'm going to be folding the longer edges towards the center line I drew. Once this is done, you'll be top stitching along both long edges for a polished look. This small detail makes a huge difference. Once top stitching is done, if you're using a keyring, you're just going to fold the connector in half, and then you'll be slipping the keyring on later. But if you're using any other kind of ring, D-ring, O-ring, whatever kind of ring you're using, just slip the keyring on and then fold the connector around the ring. Because I'm using a keyring, I don't need to do that now. Just fold in half. If you're using any other ring, fold around the ring and then fold the connector in half. Then you're going to position this on the right side of the main body exterior, just below the slip pocket's open end, and you're going to clip in place. As soon as this is done, just go ahead and baste at about 1/4 inch from the edge. Now we're going to place the exterior and lining pieces right sides together. So I've gone ahead to place my lining on my exterior right sides together, and then I'm clipping them all around. You're going to be stitching around the edges, but you make sure you leave a 3.5 inch gap at the bottom for turning. Trust me, you thank me later if you remember this. When you're done, you're going to be trimming the seam allowance to about 1/4 inch, except around the gap that we left for turning. So if your exterior is vinyl, leather, or pop, I'm using vinyl, you might want to grab your double-sided tape and apply it just under the seam allowance. Remove the backing and then fold your seam allowance in. If you're using fabric, just go ahead to press with a hot iron. So as soon as you're done folding the seam allowance along the gap inward, you're going to be turning this wallet right side out through the gap. But before you do that, make sure you remember to trim your seam allowance. So this helps to reduce bulk. Turn the wallet right side out through this gap. Once this is done, press everything very well. Press everything so that it stays nice and flat. Make sure you poke out the corners, edges with a blunt tool, and please do this carefully. As soon as you're done pressing, you're going to top stitch the bottom edge to close that gap. And top stitching is done at about 1/8 inch from the edge. Now for the final touch, you will be measuring 5.5 inches from the bottom edge. Make sure your panel is lining side facing you. You'll be measuring 5.5 inches from the bottom edge. You can draw a line at 5.5 inches, or just mark with your fabric marker on both sides, and you're going to be folding this piece upward, that's from the bottom, to meet the mark that you just made, or the line that you drew. Then clip the sides in place. If you have pressed this very well, this should go smoothly. And make sure you do not use a vinyl or cork or leather that is too thick, because if it's too thick, your machine might not be able to go through it. Now you're going to sew along the sides and the top tapered edge to secure the wallet's final shape. And there you have it, friends. Your SnapSlip wallet is almost done. Now it's time to install the snap buttons. To start with, I'm going ahead to put my cards or whatever you plan to store in this wallet. And then I'm going to install the mail snap button first on the flap. While we're at this, I just have a few things to say. If you followed along and made your own SnapSlip wallet, I would love to see it. Take a picture, post it on Instagram, and tag me at EasyStore so I can celebrate your masterpiece with you. And don't forget to use the hashtag SnapSlipWallet. I love seeing what you all create. It inspires me just as much as I hope I inspire you. So after installing the male snap button, you're going to use the male snap button to find the perfect position for the female snap button, and everything snaps in place. You can now install your key ring around the loop that we made earlier, or around your ring connector. If you used any other ring, then you do not need this because your ring would have been in place already. I hope this tutorial has inspired you to keep creating, because I have so many exciting projects coming your way. If you've loved making this wallet, you would absolutely love my next tutorial. I also want to take a second to say a huge thank you to all of you for watching, sewing along, and supporting this channel. Whether you've been here since my very first video or this is your first time stopping by, your support means the world to me. You're the reason I can keep sharing these tutorials, and I don't take that for granted. And if you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you don't miss a single stitch of the fun. So keep shining, keep stitching, and I'll see you in the next video. Until next time, happy sewing. Bye.